Hello and welcome back to another Vision Q&A. It's been a while, or Vision and Vision Wallet Q&A, now that we've combined the two brands.
Soon Vision Chain as well.
Soon Vision Chain as well. I mean, there's some questions already about Vision Chain.
Yeah.
But it's time for another Q&A. It's been a bit since our last one. I think there's a lot of interesting developments, a lot of interesting questions, also some fun questions, some not so fun ones. But yeah, let's, I think, get right into it. I'm once again joined by Georg, our business operations lead.
Good to be back.
Yeah, and I think let's rock on.
Then I'd say let's start. Starting off strong with the first question that's been bothering us, I think, for the last few weeks. A bit preparatory work, but something that we have been working on. Mm-hmm. Any hints what the first governance vote will be about?
Yes. I think I've actually mentioned this in the past, right, as something that I think should happen. And now we want to put it to a vote, right? When is it?
When is it?
Our goal is, should the governance proposal be accepted, that everything is ready and finalized before the next staking cycle starts, which will be on the 15th, I think, of May. So by then, everything should be done, right? That means we have had enough time to tell people that the vote is happening, to educate them on what we're actually voting on, to actually get the votes in, and then make the changes to the staking contract should the proposal be accepted. But yeah, I honestly think that this is an important step forward and something that needs to happen in the current situation, right? And what the beautiful thing here is, it will allow us to actually move towards a deflationary tokenomics model, right? I think that is something that a lot of our holders are missing from the times of BEST, right?
If burns rely on foundation support today, how will Vision stay sustainably deflationary over time?
If there was only just supply being used or treasury being used, it could not, right? Moving it towards this, I mean, yes, the foundation is collecting Vision as well, right? It's not collecting enough to make up for the, 60 million a quarter inflation that we've had so far. So that would mean that in a few years, we'd run into a bit of a liquidity runway issue, right? I mean, obviously you can then buy back, but we don't like the idea of buying back from the treasury. Buyback should happen from revenues. Otherwise, it's just a synthetic push, right? And at the end of the day, the funds that the foundation has are there for one reason, and that's to create an ecosystem that creates value and not to create short-term price pumps because some people want to get out, right?
It's all about validating the economical system behind it, right?
Yes.
We really have to focus on building products that generate revenues, that fuel buybacks and burns, that then push the token price, exactly. Not the other way around, right? I mean,
no, just pushing the token price without anything behind it will just be short term. And yeah, I mean, there's no economic reasoning behind it, right? That would just mean, okay, let's give people an exit, but that's not what the funds are for. They're to build products that actually create value. And
that's where our full focus lies as well.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. And that's why, yes, the token is extremely important, but I think what needs to be understood is that the token will benefit from the wallet and from the chain and from the protocol. It's not like the token in and of itself is a product that needs to keep evolving. It's just the products around it that need to get better and better and better and have more and more and more usage in order for the token to fly, right? It's not like, you don't ask what the new use case for Euro is, right? But the economic power of the Eurozone is what drives the value compared to other assets, right? Not a feature.
And I mean, that's again, then that brings us back to the economic sustainability, right? That's a model that works in bear market, works even better in bull market, right? But building products that generate consistent revenue and generate consistent buybacks and burns, that's what will drive token price in long term as well.
Exactly, yes. That's a nice one. Could you add a public live burn tracker. There is a live tracker, there is the tracker on the DApp, right? That shows all of the burns that have been done so far. We are actually, because I mean, I've talked about it a bit on Telegram, right? And I don't want to put that into a this is what it is doc and an update to the white paper before we are 100% sure how it's going to work. But we are working on a buyback and burn contract that is just a fixed part of the Vision Chain sequencer, right? So a part of the sequencer revenue automatically is used to buy back Vision on a DEX, fully transparent, and then that is burned, right? Or distributed as staking rewards. That will then be a governance decision. And that you will be able to track live and on-chain. Stuff like revenue made from fee collection on Bitpanda, that is not something you'll be able to track live. That's, in the on-chain world, it's just...
I think in the end, we have to say we try to be as transparent as we can, but we also work with certain limitations that are given to us within the Web3 system and within our Bitpanda ecosystem, in the broader Bitpanda ecosystem. But yes, we're trying our best to be transparent there.
Yes. So, next question. What happened to the Raiffeisen partnership? Is it still ongoing? And if so, how are they engaged in the process?
That's actually a very nice question.
Yes, a good question for you as well.
That's a good question for me. Yeah, I've had my fair share of talks with Raiffeisen, and I've been working very closely with them on how we can collaborate within the Vision ecosystem, within our new products and so on, how we can open up new distribution channels together, how we can evolve the ecosystem, how we can bring use cases to Vision and so on. So it's far more than an initial investment that Raiffeisen has made.
I mean, Kurt from, I think is head of...
Kurt is head of innovation at Raiffeisen or at RLB Niederösterreich-Wien. And he's part of the foundation board as well. So he's actually part of our quarterly board meetings and is bringing his experience to actively developing the ecosystem on our side. But we also have had a fair share of discussions around how we can bring Vision and especially then with Vision Wallet, Vision Chain and the protocol, how we can integrate that into the Raiffeisen ecosystem as well. And I think we've had a fair share of discussions there and
workshops
and also have a nice plan ahead of us. And I think the future is bright.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think what needs to be understood a bit, because if you're just looking from the outside in and you see there is some new tokenization, RWA, stablecoin, whatever project being announced every day, and when you just see those, I understand that you're like, oh, okay, but what's happening now? Why don't we just have something already? Like the reality is people are throwing stuff out there and nobody has really, at least in Europe, really solved the demand side, right? And I think that is where the big opportunity really lies with Vision Chain, because we have the Bitpanda platform and the Vision Wallet, and ideally also Bitpanda Enterprise customers as like the launch usage or the launch users for the things we are building. So I think we'll be able to solve that demand side, right? Because I mean, everybody can have their own stablecoin and create a DeFi pool and from their own pocket pay, I don't know, 10% APY. But if nobody's actually borrowing from that pool, those fees are fugazi, right? It's just, you just pay it so you can say we've done something with blockchain. And in order for that not to happen, it's really important that we connect all of these things directly, not just with the enterprise partners we're working with, but also with the Bitpanda platform, right? That's where a good chunk of the actual users, at least at the start, will come from.
With Vision Chain and Optimism, when will real institutional use cases, RWA, tokenization, payments go live?
We will need to, we will go live with use cases, right? There's no, I think with mainnet, there's no going live and just saying, okay, here's the chain, and there's no activity, no TVL, nothing happening there, that we won't do, right? So you can expect use cases to be there for the go live. I mean, like we said in the previous answer, right? It's all about connecting Bitpanda and the Vision wallet as sort of the retail, the front-facing interface, right, for users in there. And I mean, there's some super cool stuff that's out there. Without promising anything, right? What are we looking into, right? I mean, asset-backed borrowing and lending, right? Being able to borrow against the assets you have, for example, on your Bitpanda account, and then earn yield based on that, right? Tokenized money market funds that could be the underlying asset for Cash Plus, for example, right? There's just
in the end, everything that has to do with sourcing on-chain liquidity.
Exactly, yeah, or just on-chain custody, right? And treasury management for big institutions, right?
A quick pivot to the wallet. What will be the killer feature of the wallet to drive mass adoption over competitors?
I would really love to already speak about it. I've been carrying this around with me for ages.
It's tough.
And it's really tough because I like announcing what we do, but I think for once I will be smart enough to not announce it before it's ready, and it will just be live when it's live. Because we've learned in the past. I mean, we've got a positive initial review from Apple, but you know, just because one reviewer said it's good doesn't mean the other one will. And you know, then if we're delayed by a month again, I don't want to have it announced already. So we're going to keep that a bit closer to our chest. But when we announce it, it will be live. So that's the benefit there.
And I think what we can say is that when we talk to Bitpanda internal people and Foundation internal people, that's the feature that they actually want to use in the wallet. That's for them what they want to use on a daily basis, where they say, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm quite excited for it.
Absolutely. It both works in a bear market and it just attracts a completely new customer base, which I think is as we move further along with the wallet and it becomes more and more clear what we want this product to be and who it is for. I think that is really going to be important, right? Because yes, if we are now trying to compete with the ultra geeky degen Web3 wallets, then it's going to be a long road ahead, right? But if we focus on what we're good at, which is a nice user experience and simplicity and safety and features that simply make sense in their implementation as well, that is, I think, where we can find our niche, but also the path to mass adoption, right? And really bringing DeFi to Web2 users and to the masses.
Next question. Is there a follow-up program for the Vision Premium vesting?
Currently, we're not planning one, no. I think for the launch, this had its merit, and it was about giving back to the long-term holders who are going to be with us no matter what, right? Because we also wanted to reduce volatility, especially during the actual launch phase. But it's time to grow up. We are seeing obviously more and more that the payouts are having an impact as well, and that's not something we want. But no, that was a launch thing, and it's time to grow up. There will not be a revesting or anything.
Okay, next question. Will Vision be further integrated into the broker?
Yes. In general, yes. So not just on the token side. Yes, there will be more benefits and features and use cases for the token there as well. The form they will take is not something we can reveal at this point. It also depends on the product we're integrating it to, but it shouldn't be just rewards for holding, because that doesn't help anyone. But I think where the most interesting integrations will be is around the chain and the protocol, right? Because the one thing that's I think we have, I mean, if the community doesn't know about it, means we haven't communicated it well enough, is that Vision Chain is our way to bring DeFi opportunities onto the Bitpanda platform, right? Because why can't we have a classic like lending pool on a regulated brokerage like Bitpanda? Because there's no KYC on most of these chains and pools, right? So AML, as our anti-money laundering, or like sanction blocking doesn't work, right? So theoretically, you could deposit into an earn pool, and the fees you get are from a North Korean wallet or from Lazarus Group or whatever, right? And that's a big no-go on a regulated platform. But if it's our own chain and we enforce KYC and we know everybody who is part of that pool, that enables us to actually bring DeFi onto Vision Chain.
I mean, this really taps into the question we've already answered earlier, right? We're really trying to use the potential we have in all of our distribution channels, whether it be the broker, enterprise, the wallet, and really try to see where we can have efficiencies.
Yeah, even for margin trading, right? We'll be more efficient if we do that via Vision Chain, right? Users could deposit into lending pools, and those funds are then used to fund margin trading, and that's how the fees are generated, right? And then users actually get the fees that other users pay for borrowing for margin trading, right? So Vision Chain will be the infrastructure for, I'm not saying everything we build, but for a large chunk of the products that will be built on the Bitpanda platform for Bitpanda Enterprise, and obviously also for Vision Wallet.
And I mean, not everything is necessarily user-facing, right? There's like this whole bunch and this whole dimension of internal Bitpanda processes that can be made more efficient and can be optimized using DeFi as an infrastructure. Mm-hmm. And always having that mindset that we kind of use that DeFi mallet, right? Where we say Web 2 in the front, Web 3 in the back.
Exactly. Next question. Is it even possible from a regulatory point of view for you to ever carry out genuine token buybacks?
I mean, short answer, yes, it is. Although the FMA, the Austrian regulator, and also the Swiss FINMA, they're very strict about buybacks and everything that surrounds them, right? So there are certain regulatory aspects and communication deadlines that we have to adhere to when we want to do buybacks. That's the regulator puts upon us. But in general, yes, token buybacks are possible and are a tool that we can work with. Any ETA for the Vision Launchpad now? AKA, when Launchpad?
I love the when questions. No, I mean, I've answered this, I think, on X and on Telegram already, so it's good that we can answer it here again. The Launchpad, as it was planned, right, is not something that's going to work in the current market sentiment. Nobody is launching projects now, and it's not just about crypto, right? The global economy is not in a state where you're going to be launching a lot of products, right? And yes, we did say that we wouldn't hold back finished products depending on market sentiment, but it's not a finished product, right? And I think there's no point in launching the Launchpad now. It does make sense once Vision Chain is here, right? So it'll just be the access layer, or the access layer for new assets launching on the chain. And I think then it makes sense again. But I mean, are you seeing a lot of token launches at the moment? Are you seeing a lot of stocks launches at the moment? Well, there's a reason for it. Thank you so much for watching. We hope that answered at least some of your questions. Yes, I know we could always answer more, but looking forward to your feedback, and see you next time.
Thank you very much, everyone, and see you next time.